Hi guys, welcome to this Saturday's ACCA predictions for the 16th of September. So last week we were close, but no cigar. I think it was Luton who ended up letting us down. And if you follow us on Twitter, Luton let us down for the 84-1 bet and also the 50-1 bet as well. So Luton are going on the naughty list, unfortunately. So fingers crossed we have a better week this week. Again, a couple of wins are on the Twitter page if you follow us on there. As always, the link's in the description at FootyBetTipster. With a 1 instead of an I in tipster. So you can follow us throughout the week for the tips on there. So yep, we're looking at this Saturday. So the first game we're going to be going for is in the Premier League, and it's Huddersfield Town against Leicester City. So we're going with a Leicester City away win here. Now, Huddersfield start the season in really good form. Won their opening 2 games away at Palace and Newcastle without conceding a goal. But since then, they've had a 0-0 draw with Southampton and then lost a crucial game maybe for them, almost a 6 points at this early start of the season, to West Ham. So, that's only 1 goal in the last 3 games for Huddersfield. I think that's the thing that's going to sort of let them down most this season, really, is goal scoring. Have they really got a goal scorer in that team? They've added some players in that final third, like Mounier and Tommins. Never quite sort of played at this level before. It's going to be, pretty tough for them, and they are finding sort of life a little bit harder at this level. Leicester City probably not had much better really start. They've won 1 game so far at home against Brighton, but the other 3 games they've had was away at Arsenal, which obviously if you saw the game, they were very unlucky to lose and were leading for large parts of it, 4-3. Then they lost away at Manchester United and then at home against Chelsea. So they've had a really, really tough start throughout those 4 fixtures, and they've not really been badly beaten in any of them. They kept Chelsea pretty honest on Saturday, and they had the chances themselves maybe to even get a point, but Leicester are, I think, in a lot better shape than they were last season, even though probably the points don't reflect it so far. And I think going forward, I think they'll start to climb the league. Keeping hold of Mahrez as well was massive for them after deadline day. The loss of Danny Drinkwater, that is a blow. But I think Mahrez and Vardy and certainly Morgan and Schmeichel give them a good sort of spine to the team, and I just think with their style of play and the pace they've got on the counter attack, I just think that they'll just have a little bit too much for Huddersfield, unfortunately. So I think the first one we're going to go for was a Leicester City win away from home at Huddersfield. So we drop down to the Championship for the next game, which is Brentford at home against Reading. Again, probably maybe if they're looking at thinking Brentford, really, they're second from bottom in the table. But for me, they're in a very false position. Brentford's last 3 games, they've drawn 0-0 with Wolves, 0-0 away at Villa, and narrowly lost at Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. So 3 teams who are expected to be challenging at the top of the table. They're running pretty close. In fact, the Villa games and the Sheffield Wednesday games, they were the better team for large parts. I'm probably very disappointed to only walk away with a point from those 2 games. So Brentford for me are definitely a team who are in a false position in the league, and I fully expect them to start seeing them climb the league, even with the loss of Hotter. They've still got enough quality in their team to start climbing the division, and I think that'll start this weekend at home against Reading. Now, Reading are a real strange team. The playoff finalists last season, obviously lost to Huddersfield in the final. They've had quite an up and down sort of season. It almost seems to be a win and a loss in the league so far. They lost last time out at home against Bristol City, but contrast that the week before, they went to Birmingham 1-2-0. But it's a real sort of strange start to the season for them. One thing they're not really doing is scoring goals aplenty, and they, apart from the Birmingham game, they've only kept 1 clean sheet as well this season. So I think the loss of some key players, Williams and El Habsi, have really sort of affected Reading this season. I'm not quite expecting them to have such a good season. I don't think there'll be any danger at the other end. I think they will finish comfortably in mid-table, but I think pretty much their pattern at the start of the season is pretty much how they're going to go: a win, a loss, a win, a loss. So I just think Brentford are due with that turnaround, and good luck really. The form's there in regards to how they're playing, just not necessarily getting the results. And I think with an in and out Reading, the visitors on Saturday, I think they will get those three crucial 3 points really to sort of take them forward. Now, next game is we're dropping down into League One, and that is Blackburn Rovers at home against Wimbledon. So Blackburn, one of my tips at the start of the season to win the league, and it looked like I had a little sort of bit of egg on my face when the season started. They'd lost their opening couple of games and things weren't looking too rosy, but since then they've bounced back well. They've won their last 4 in the league. They're scoring goals and they're not conceding. It's a great recipe for success. 1-0, 3-0, 4-1 and 1-0 are the wins they've had against teams, again, very good teams really. They've sort of beat Bradford City, MK Dons, Rochdale, Scunthorpe, all teams who I think last season all finished sort of top half of the table, or at least mid-table upwards to the top half. And with, like I've said before, the quality that they've got in the midfield and attack as well. Players like Danny Graham, Craig Conway, Bradley Dack, players like that. Actually, I think Dack's injured at the moment in time, but Peter Whittingham, people like that, they've definitely got enough quality to carve out the chances and score the goals. And as I say, they're keeping plenty of clean sheets at the moment. Contrast that to Wimbledon, who their last 3 games they've only picked up 1 point, and that was a disappointing home draw against fellow strugglers Gillingham. Prior to that, they've been struggling, really struggling for goals. They've drawn a blank, I think, on 4 occasions so far in the league this season, and I fully expect Blackburn to have a little bit too much for them. I can't see Wimbledon, getting a goal, so Blackburn may only need 1 or 2 to win this game, and at home with the attack, as I say, they should do that pretty comfortably. So we're going with the Blackburn home win on that one. Next game, staying in League One, Bury versus Plymouth. Again, it could be a bit of a surprise to some people. This is 22nd against 23rd, but for me, having sort of seen Bury play in the last few games and read the reports, very unlucky really in their last 2 away games, losing 3-2 at Rotherham and 3-2 at Fleetwood. Both games they were in and were hit with late goals, unfortunately, to beat them. So things have picked up a little bit. I think when we talked about Bury a few weeks ago, we were talking about they were struggling to replace Vaughan's goals. Beckford's picked up from there and has chipped in with some goals now, and they're looking a little bit more sort of attacking threat. And I think that first win of the season, their second win of the season is just round the corner. As I say, if they can just cut out the goals that they're conceding, but they've had a tough run of games: Scunthorpe, Rotherham and Fleetwood, the last 3. I'm fully expecting them to get back on track against a struggling Plymouth team who are really struggling to sort of keep 10 men on the pitch at the moment in time. Seems to be having men sent off virtually every game from when I see. And they've lost their last 4, and certainly at home they've had some crushing defeats really. Blackpool stuck 3 past them, Scunthorpe stuck 4 past them, but away from home it's not really been that much better, to be honest. They've already lost at Peterborough and at Walsall already, so I'm fully expecting Bury, and I think with their head-to-head record as well, they've got a good record against Plymouth. I think they've won the last 3, including the last 2 at home when the sides have met previously. So I think Bury will get their second win of the season, and pull further away from Plymouth in that relegation zone. So the last game that we're going for, it's only a 5-team market this week, but it's still paying a good price because obviously the teams that we've selected. We're going to go with Exeter City at home against Crewe Alexandra. So so Exeter top of the table, deservedly so. Again, scoring plenty of goals. They are very, very strong at the moment in time. Good form, won the last 5 in the league. And yeah, the home games wise, I don't think they've conceded a goal yet at home this season. They've won all 3 games, so that's always a good recipe. Build success from the back, as they say. But they're also chipping in with plenty of goals as well at the other end. Crewe Alexandra, again, yeah, one of those teams, very up and down this season so far. Lost on Saturday, surprisingly, at home to Cambridge 1-0, especially after they thumped Chesterfield 5-1 on the previous home game. But away from home, they've been a little bit sort of in and out. They did lose to Grimsby last time out away from home 1-0. So yeah, it's almost like win and bust for Crewe. They go from scoring 5 to only scoring 4 or 5 goals in the last sort of 7 games. It's in the other 7 games. They're a really inconsistent team. And I just think with that inconsistency and going to a very good Exeter team who beat them back in the last season 4-0 at St James's, I'm fully expecting Exeter to wrap this one up. So, yep, that's this week's predictions. That pays 35-1, which isn't too bad really for a 5-team ACCA. As you can see, we've put in a few teams in there who are probably at the wrong end of the table at the moment in time. But yeah, we're looking for that little bit of value at this moment, and I'm pretty confident that we can get a good win again on Saturday. So, yep, as I say, thanks again for all your lovely comments. Always nice when you get some wins and some encouragement when we just miss out by that odd team or odd goal. But yeah, fingers crossed we get that win this weekend. Okay, guys, till next time. Bye.